Welcome to For the Love of You. I am so happy that you tuned in to join with us today, for we recognize the Lord says in His Word, love one another as I have loved you. And because you are very important to me, we are bringing you this segment, For the Love of You. Today I'm happy to have with me Pamela Singleton Nelson. She is the owner of Walk the Walk Wellness Center and has been the worksite and community wellness coordinator for Charles Drew Health Center. She is also a Zumba instructor and leading the Walk and Talk exercise group at Clare Memorial United Methodist Church at 8 a.m. on Saturday. And so, Pam, thank you so much for coming to share with us. And today, want her to talk to us about mind, body, and soul, but most especially the physical activity that we ought to be having in our lives, because our daily habits, what we eat, how active we are, not smoking, has a strong effect on our heart and our stroke risk. There are things that are up to us to do, as well as knowing our medical history and our family. So Pam, won't you please share with us today?
Thank you so much for having me here. And I just want to commend you guys, because this is just a great program to have. And you know, it's been said that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right?
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is prevent as many strokes and heart disease as possible. Plus, we want to live a great quality life, right?
Right.
So that's our goal. So as you mentioned before, you guys talked a lot on your program about being in the know and knowing the right medicine to be on, be an advocate, your own best advocate. When you talk to the doctors, ask great questions. And I think that's fantastic, and I just want to build on that.
Okay.
And I was looking at the article, a quote from a cardiologist from WebMD, and he said that even if a condition like heart disease and high blood pressure run in your family, you can do a lot to break that pattern.
Okay.
Your choices and lifestyle, as you mentioned before, make a big difference. Some genes lead to disease, but for most people, a healthy lifestyle trumps inherited risk.
Okay.
And so a lot of studies and health professionals have said that 70% of our health is in our hands. And so if you think about it, 70%
wow.
of our health is in our hands. And so it comes down to the things that are in our control is, as you mentioned, non-smoking, managing our weight, eating healthy, managing our stress, physical activity, I mentioned a healthy diet, moderate in alcohol consumption. And so as an exercise instructor, I used to focus a lot on getting people to move more. And you know, our motto at Clare is move more, sit less, be your best.
Right.
But the more I think about it and the more data that's out, it's important to incorporate the mind, body, and the spirit.
Okay.
Because if you're feeling down and you are stressed out and you have anxiety and worry, you're not going to move as much.
That's true.
Right?
You're too busy worrying, trying to figure out what to do.
Yes, you're not going to do the healthy things because you're feeling down, right?
Or eat the snacks.
Yeah, you kind of go to your comfort food, your timeout chicken, getting chicken. Not that I have anything against timeout chicken, but you know what I mean.
Right.
So when you're feeling down, you're not taking care of yourself. Mentally, you're not taking care of your physical self. And physically, if you're aching, if you're in pain, that affects your mind. You're just down. You're like, man, I can't do the things that I need to do. So all of it is incorporated, and it's important to have a balance with your mind, body, and spirit for your optimal health.
Right, and I appreciate when you told us during our exercise class that even during commercials we ought to get up and move or walk in place or do some stretches. And so to get 30 minutes in, it doesn't have to be 30 consecutive minutes, that it could be in short intervals throughout the day.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was interesting. So what is it, how do you encourage people to at least begin to do some physical activity?
Well, here's a great place to start. You know, the recommendation is that you get 150 minutes in a week. So like every other day to get in 30 minutes. But if you're just starting out, that's not really attainable.
Okay.
You know, so I ask people to take small steps. And I think one of the small steps that you can take, and this is where we started at Clear, is there's data to suggest that prolonged sitting is the new smoking.
Wow.
It's, you know, it's not good for your health.
Right.
So sitting, you got to take a stand on sitting. So that's something that almost everybody can do. So every hour, set your timer, set your clock, get up and move around for a minute. And if you put on some of your gospel music, something that makes you feel good, you're incorporating your mind, body, and spirit. So I'm just want to encourage everyone to take a stand on sitting. Just if a commercial's on, get up, move around. Instead of going through the drive-through, park, get in, walk in. So there's a lot of things you can do. Take the stairs, like you guys are doing.
So don't try to be just taking the easy road.
Just make sure you don't sit for more than an hour without standing up. You know, if you're at work, instead of sending that email, you know, get up and go walk and talk to that person if you can. So I think that's a really good place to start, is to take a stand on sitting too long.
Okay, and that's very encouraging for us to realize that we are sitting more. We want the comforts of life, that we've got to get up and do, get up and move, not just allow those simple things that we do. Just like now we're texting, you know, instead of calling, but going to visit and having that one-on-one, person-to-person
connections.
contact.
That incorporates the mind, body, and spirit. And, you know, I love Facebook. I love texting. But now they're saying loneliness is a health risk, because we feel like we're connected to someone, but you need to be talking to a live someone that's breathing, as opposed to just always on Facebook, always texting. That doesn't count for social connections. So one of the things that you talked about was how important exercise is. And so in talking about the mind, body, and spirit to have that balance, I want to give you an example. So they know that people who exercise are healthier. But now the research is saying that we know why they're healthier, because in addition to building our muscle and increasing our blood circulation, when you exercise, you also lift your mood and increases your mental state. And when you increase your mental state, you boost your immune system, your immunity. And if you boost your immunity system, you also decrease your chances of getting a disease. And when you get a disease, you heal faster. So your immune system, all of that is connected. And so Time Magazine summarized the science of exercise by saying that you can be younger, smarter, and stronger.
Younger, smarter, and stronger
by exercising. So that is why exercise is so important. But I got to tell you a story. You know, as an African-American woman, and I think as African-American women, one of the barriers that prevent us from moving more and sitting less and being our best is our hair. Because we don't want to sweat our hair out. As you know, you and I have talked about it. We spend a disproportionate amount on straightening our hair so we can have that look that is considered the beauty European look. So, but when we straighten our hair, sweat is not our friend, is it?
No.
So we spend a lot of money and we sit at the hairdresser and we straighten our hair, and then you look, oh my goodness, it's raining. Am I going to get out and exercise, right? So sometimes that can be a barrier for us. And we know that if exercise can help with your mental health, and your mental health can help with your immune system, and your immune system can help you prevent and heal from diseases, exercise is a key for us. So I want to talk about finding a way to work around those barriers. And there's a couple things we can do. We already talked about breaking up the exercise for 10 minutes, right? So if you already have your hair wrapped up in the morning, why not do 10 minutes before you take it out, right? And you can do 10 minutes before you wrap it up. And you can do little steps like moving more, doing the commercials and things like that. You can wrap your hair up when you're exercising. You can, you know, try natural hair. But
most of us are going to the natural look.
Most of us are going to natural hair. And you know what? I'm not an advocate of saying we have to have a certain type of hair. What I'm an advocate of, if your hair is getting in the way of your moving more, then you need to think about that. And I got a true story. So I was at my hairdresser, because you know I'm an exercise instructor. And at the time I had a perm. So I've had it all. I've had a perm, I've had a weave, I've done wigs, and I've straightened my hair, and I'm trying to exercise. And I said to my hairdresser here in Omaha, I said, listen, I'm trying to exercise 3 or 4 times a day, and what can I do to keep my hair going? And she said, well, the first thing is you're exercising too much.
Really?
She said, you're going to hurt your hair.
Uh-oh. I was exercising to hurt my hair.
Because I'm sweating and then I got to wash it. Because what I was doing is I was straightening it. I was putting a hot comb to it.
Okay.
And you put a hot comb to dirty, sweaty hair, it's going to break out, right?
Gotcha.
And I had a perm on top of that,
Okay.
and maybe a little color, right?
Okay.
So she was like, the problem is you're exercising too much. So I think we are putting a priority on our good hairstyle versus our good health. But it's complicated, right?
Okay.
Because it goes all the way back to our childhood. Okay. And it goes all the way back to what is beauty, right? And so I saw a movie on Netflix last night, Nappy Ever After.
Oh, okay.
You know, Happily Ever After.
Oh, right, Nappy After.
Yes.
Okay.
And what it talked about is how, you know, having the straight hair really affects our self-image.
Okay.
You know, and it's not just with us, it's within our culture and outside of our culture. Because I know when I was going to natural hair, my mom was like, I'm not feeling that. But it's because that is what her idea of beauty is, straight hair. So I'll give you one more example. So my daughter got married 4 years ago, right? So I had this natural hair, and I said I want to look my best, right?
Okay.
So I decided to straighten my natural hair. I went to the salon in Atlanta, very fancy salon. And when I came on, I was looking mighty fine. And I probably could have paid a car note, right? But I was looking good. So I got my hair done the day before the wedding. It was an outdoor wedding.
Uh-oh.
It started to rain.
Okay.
You know the story. By the end of the day, I'm looking like
Your
this,
hair
right?
was poof.
Yeah. So you know how we say, move more, sit less, be your best. But after I got my hair done, I moved less.
Yes,
I
right.
sat around more, and I didn't want to sweat.
Okay.
Right? But even after all that, you know, I put a preference on my short-term looks as opposed to my long-term health.
And that's so important because we have to look at our lives long term. Just to look beauty today or for a week is not going to cut it. And so,
But it's hard.
It's hard, but we look beautiful with our natural hair, whether it's nappy, whether it's in a fro, whatever the case may be. Yes, I realize that my hair is naturally curly, but I like it to be straight at times, but I still have to exercise. I'm going to sweat. Sweat is a natural form of life.
Yes.
But I've got to exercise to keep my organs moving, keep the blood flowing through my veins so that I can be healthy.
Right. I think that is the message we need to say to not only ourselves, but to our daughters, to our girls. You are beautiful the way you are, right? And so
Very
what's
much
more
so.
important than the straight hair is for you to be healthy inside, right? Inside and out. And that way, you're incorporating your mind, body, and your spirit.
Okay. Well, I saw that you also are a Zumba instructor. So
I
tell us
am.
a little bit about Zumba, because, you know, I got 2 left feet when I came to your class.
I know you came to class last time. It was one time, and you were like, I'm not
I
feeling
can't
this.
do it.
But you know what? Here's the thing about it. The best exercise to do is the exercise that you will do.
Okay.
So Zumba is not for everybody. But I tell people it's not like Dancing with the Stars, like you're going to come out. It's like, get off the stage. None of that stuff.
Okay.
So it's like a party. So the nice thing about Zumba is that it's an exercise disguised as a party. So
Okay.
you're dancing and you're partying and you're not moving as much, but you actually are burning calories, you're toning your whole body, and you're having fun. And the music moves you. So we offer free Zumba at Charles Drew on Monday and Thursday nights from 5:45 to 6:45. But I'm not just, you know, you and I are doing the walk and talk at Clear, and we're just walking to gospel music.
Right.
And that is definitely feeding the mind, body, spirit, because we're praising the Lord and moving at the same time. And you don't really have to join a class if you can put on your gospel music and get in front of your house and just march in place and move and praise the Lord. So walking, I think, is a great exercise. So I think you got to find the exercise that moves you.
Okay, that's so important to find the exercise that moves you, because I can do the praise.
Right.
And I can stay, I might not be in tune with everyone and go in the opposite direction.
I know,
But the class is for every age group, so I'm fitting in.
We're having fun though, aren't we?
Right,
we're having fun. When we're moving and we're building our mind, body, and spirit. So another thing I want to think about is, what if we spend a portion of the money that we spend on our hair and our wigs and our weaves
Right.
Because I've done it all, so I'm not down anybody because I've been there, right?
Okay.
And spend some of that money on maybe a Fitbit, an Apple Watch, a massage, a girlfriend trip, right?
Okay, yeah, that's a
I know
good
I
one.
could have bought a Fitbit for what I
Right.
spent in Atlanta. It didn't last a day, right?
Okay.
So that's why I want to encourage everyone to take care of themselves, because it's just like when you're on the airplane and they say if we lose oxygen, you need to give yourself the mask first
Right.
before you take care of anybody else. Because if you don't, you'll pass out and can't even help somebody else, right?
Right. So invest in yourself first, in your
Take
health
care
first.
of yourself first. And so then, as you know, as African American women, we take care of everybody, and sometimes we put ourselves on the back burner. So to be the best mother, to be the best wife, to be the best daughter we can be, we need to first give ourselves oxygen.
Right.
So when I'm hanging out with my daughter, she knows that when I do like this, that means I need to back up and give myself
Okay.
some oxygen.
Okay. So she knows that.
That's our sign to ourselves, like, okay, I got to give myself oxygen before I move forward with anybody else.
Okay. And what about being a grandmother now of 6? I'm sure that keeps you active. So is that good physical exercise?
Oh, it's great physical exercise, and then really that's my why. So one of the things that the American Heart Association talks about is what is your why, right?
Right.
And so I think it's important to look at some of the short-term benefits of exercise, because that's more sustainable, because we're like a microwave society. So sometimes when I tell people that if you exercise, it'll help with your heart and lungs, but that's down the road. But when I tell people that if you exercise, you'll have less stress, you'll feel better, you have more energy, and you have a better mood, right?
Okay.
You can feel that right now, and that's more sustainable. So my why is to have the energy that I need to get on that floor with those 6 grandbabies. I want to be the Mimi that they call when they babysit. I want to be able to take them to the zoo. So I want to model that to my grandkids, the importance of health. So that's my why.
Because you want to be around for them as they
wanna be
grow up
around.
and do things in school, graduate from high school, from
Yes.
college. You still want to be
I want to be
around this
there.
here.
I want to be there. So I want to do everything that's in my power.
Okay.
That's 70% that's in my hand. And I know there's a lot of things that are out of my hand, 30%.
Right.
But like if you were in school and the teacher told you that the answers to the test, 70% was in this chapter. You would go to that chapter,
yeah,
right?
you're going to read it. At least I hope you're going to read the chapter.
So 70% is in my hand. I'm going to work the 70%.
Okay, well, that's so important. And so as we look at, you talked about boosting physical health, improving your emotional health, as well as your spiritual health.
Right.
So we want to look at how we can do that. We understand the natural or the nutritional food and plenty of water. We've got to make sure that people are
water
drinking water.
is amazing.
Not all these sports drinks.
That's it. They have stuff in there you don't even need, right? So just water is so great.
Right, and then in class on this past Saturday, we were talking about the nuts, eating more nuts and different things. And so, talk to us a little bit about.
All right, so I'll talk to you a little bit about it. So one of the things about physical health, we already talked about eating healthy, nutritious food, drinking water. Don't skip meals, right?
Okay.
Breakfast is so important. You talked about cutting back on sugar and salt, sleep, but I'll just get right to the nuts part. So we talked about some they call them superfoods, right?
Okay.
And so some of the things we talked about was nuts. Nuts are so important because they have fiber and protein. Also, some important things like dark leafy greens like kale greens and berries and eggs and salmon and avocado. Remember, my husband hates those avocado toast sandwiches that I make for him. But because I love him, I make that for him with an egg because it sets the tone for the day.
And so it's that good protein.
Fiber, good protein, and fiber. And so it's so important.
Okay. And so it's just so important that we take care of our mind, our body, and our spirits, that we're taking care of the total person. And so not only exercising, but eating properly, and then connecting with the higher being.
Connecting with the higher being. And God asks us to take care of his temple.
That's right.
So that we can do the best that we can be on earth and to live out his will. And I think one of the things that we can do to do that is to have an attitude of gratitude. Because no matter where you are, if you take time and focus on what's right versus what's wrong, if you focus on what you have versus what you lack, it's difficult sometimes to focus on worry and anxiety. You give it to the Lord. So gratitude, having an attitude of gratitude is important.
And that's so important. I saw that in the gratitude form in Time magazine, it says gratitude can help you sleep. Gratitude may stop you from overeating. Gratitude can ease depression. Gratitude can improve your self-care. Gratitude can improve your relationship with other people. And gratitude can help you bounce back from life difficulties.
And we're going to
so
all
that's so
have that.
important.
We're going to all have life difficulties.
And we have to learn how to be grateful.
Be grateful through it all. God, and then one way to do that is to get a little gratitude journal or just buy a notebook and write down 3 things that you're thankful for every day and why. Write down what you're thankful for and why, and try to write down different things.
Okay.
And when you focus on what you have, it keeps you from focusing on what you lack.
Okay.
And it builds you up.
And that's so important.
It is so important.
That you learn how to love yourself.
Love yourself.
So we are just so happy that you came to share with us.
I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so thankful for you.
To keep us active
Yes.
Physically, but also to remind us how we should be eating healthier meals. And so
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and share with me, but also with our audience today. And so we thank you for joining us. Remember to move more, sit less, and be your best, that we have to take out of our day 30 minutes that we can exercise and take care of ourselves, whether it's 10 minutes in the morning before you get dressed, 10 minutes during the day where you're getting up, walking at work or standing while you're working, and then at night before you go to bed. Women, if you got to wrap your hair up, wrap it up, but still take time out for yourself now. Drink plenty of water. We've told you over and over you need to drink at least 8 glasses or 8 ounces a day so that you can indeed be healthy. Make sure that you eat proper portions of food, not too much snacking in between, but if you have to snack, get some healthy snacks. Get some of the nuts. As it was stated, I think it was 15 nuts that you told us on Saturday. A handful of nuts.
Because they have a lot of calories, but a handful.
A handful of nuts.
You don't want to snack all day on them.
Make sure that we are doing what we can to be healthy. Get activity tracker, whether it's your iWatch or whatever the case may be, but do something for yourself. Monitor what you're doing. I like the fact that you told us about the gratitude journal to write down what you are grateful for and happy for in your life. So want to make sure that we are moving more. Join the free Zumba class at Charles Drew on Mondays and Thursdays from 5:45 to 6:45 each week, and Pam is teaching that class. You can even stop by Clare Methodist Church at 56th and Ames. We are there at 8 a.m. We're first talking about healthy things, mind, body, and spirit, and then we are moving to Christian music during the last 30 minutes of the class. And then we're also walking. Now that it's raining, you do not have to walk outside. Claire has a walking path inside the church, upstairs, downstairs. There are even stairways that you can walk. So we want to make sure that you are doing what you can to be the healthier you. God created us in his image and for his purpose. It's up to us. And so for the love of you, thank you so much for joining us today, and look forward to sharing with you until the next time.
God bless.